Hello, I'm Felicia Brenoe of Felicia's World, and I am here today to share with you an exciting new pattern pack that I have out with C&T Publishing. This is my Cozy Village, and this is a hand applique project. That is the main quilt in the pattern pack. I also have made a smaller machine applique project for those of you who like to work maybe a little bit faster and don't enjoy the handwork so much. So I'm going to show you a really fun technique for hand applique today. We have a awesome project here, or a product here, called Wash-Away Appliqué Sheets. And these applique sheets will really make your hand applique a lot more stable, and it's a great technique for using with organic shapes and for using with reverse applique. So I'm going to show you how that works. This is the cover of the pattern pack, and inside the pattern pack you will find a booklet with all of the instructions for the different techniques that are used in the pattern. And you'll also see that in the back that we have the smaller machine applique version of the quilt for those of you who are inclined in that direction. You will also find that you have full-size placement diagrams for each block. And I'm going to show you now how to use these applique sheets to do your applique. Here's an individual sheet from the Wash-Away Appliqué Sheets, and it's a paper-like product, and it will dissolve if you actually wash your quilts. Whether you want to wash your hand applique quilt is another story. One of the sides is going to be shiny, and this works like a fusible, like an interfacing. And what you're going to do, I'm going to show you here, I have some that are marked up already, is that you will actually trace your applique sheets onto the applique sheets. You'll trace your applique shapes. These particular ones are actually run through the printer. So one of the really cool things is that when you have your applique for other projects, you might have your applique shapes as a downloadable PDF or something that you purchased, and you can actually run this directly through the printer and print shapes when that's appropriate. So after you've traced your shapes, you're going to cut them out. You are then going to fuse them onto your fabric. So use your hot iron, shiny side down onto the wrong side of the fabric, and you will get something like this. These particular shapes are little petals that go onto the pattern. And then here you can see when I've actually cut them out. And I'm using a pretty narrow seam allowance for these, especially these smaller shapes. I'm not really sticking to a 1/4 inch. I'm going quite a bit smaller. And I'll actually use a glue stick. This is used to be cheating, but is now quite legitimate. Quilting police will not come and get you. And you'll use your little glue stick, and then you can finger press the edges, or you can use specialized tools like the Appliquick tools to press your edges down. So just as when you're doing other applique projects, when you have an edge that is going to be underneath another shape, you don't need to actually fold that in at all. So if you look at this piece now, this is a little petal. I've left that unfolded at the end because ultimately there's going to be a flower center that covers that. The one thing that I also really like about the applique sheets is that when you have larger organic shapes, for example, here's a pathway that's going to go between two houses. This has already been completely glued down, and it's very stable. It makes your applique easy to travel with. It means you can sit in the sofa and do it. To me, at least, it's a much easier technique than doing strictly turn edge applique. The third thing I will show you is reverse applique. So this is a piece that is going to become a house. It's going to go right here on the block when it's done. And when you have what you do on the back side is that you actually cut out your entire house, cut out the windows and everything out of the applique sheet, then glue it onto the back of your house, do your little cutouts, and glue them out so you have windowsills. I can show you how to do it on the door. You'll basically snip out to the corners. And then again, use your glue stick to fold the edges back, and they will stick very nicely. And then to continue cheating with the glue. I've actually glued my window fabric onto the back side here. And what you have now when you're doing reverse applique is that you have a very, very stable outer border, and it makes your reverse applique so much easier to do. And you can, put your little applique stitches in and not worry about things slipping and sliding around. And then when all of these pieces are in place, you basically applique your house in place on your background block. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Thank you so much for listening in, and good luck with My Cozy Village and your applique.